Black Hills State improved to 6-4 overall and 5-3 in the RMAC as it defeated Adams State 35-28 on Saturday to secure consecutive winning seasons for the first time in the school's Division II era. Hello, I'm Alex Dodd, and welcome to the Black Hills State Football Show presented by the Rapid City Journal, where for 15 to 20 minutes each week, we'll take you inside the program with Yellow Jackets head coach Josh Bresky. Coach, how's it going?
It's going great. It's going great, man. Happy to be here again, Alex.
Apparently, Steve Amerman has tried to get me to change the name to the Doddcast, so that seems like it might be picking up some traction over there. I don't know what I'm going to do about that.
It rolls off the tongue. It's really catching on over here in the Northern Hills, man. People are talking about it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, if I came up to play noon ball, they probably wouldn't talk about it anymore, or they would say Alex needs to stick to the Doddcast because that would get ugly.
No, you didn't miss anything today. We didn't have enough bodies for noon ball, and it's probably a blessing in disguise. Got to continue to just keep working and plugging away at Pueblo here. So,
well, it's crazy to think that we're already in the last week of the season here. It feels like just yesterday we were getting things going, but has it even really sunk into you yet that this is the last game of the season?
No, not quite, and it won't until Monday, honestly, and maybe Sunday, but. When we roll in Monday and there isn't a practice to prepare for or a game to break down, that's when it typically sinks in. And then it's just tough. As a coach, your competitive spirit really has to go into recruiting. And at least you can kind of continue to compete in recruiting and put all your energy into that. And that's the thing. If the season doesn't end the way that you wanted to and it didn't go the way that you had hoped, well, make it right. Go recruit the players and the people that you think are going to make it better the following year. And I'm really happy, and I think I can confidently say that we've done that every year here as a staff. And I'm really lucky to have these coaches that I work alongside with every week, that they care about the same things that I care about. And I'm excited to go recruit next week.
Well, you still got one more game before then, so luckily you get to take that competitiveness out on the field. But let's talk a little bit about this past weekend and your win over the Grizzlies. First of all, just how exciting is it to have a second straight winning season and to see things continuing to move in the right direction in the program?
It's exciting. It's a plan that's really coming to fruition in a great way. And I may have shared this in previous Doddcasts, but I remember having my conversations with our previous athletic director, Jed Albers, when he hired me. And I said, we're going to do this methodically, and we're going to do this systematically. We're going to recruit a lot of high school student athletes. And that might mean we're going to kind of stink maybe our first year, but we're going to be good every year after that. And we kind of looked at year 3 being that mark of when we felt like we were going to have our guys who we recruited be the core of the roster and have our team more or less established. And there's certainly a number of games that didn't go our way this year that I'd love to have back. But overall, I think there's a lot to be proud of as a coach, and certainly our athletes have a lot to be proud of as well. Back-to-back winning seasons is a huge deal, and this weekend an opportunity to have back-to-back 7-win seasons. So we're looking forward to the opportunity.
You guys had senior day on Saturday and honored a large group of guys that have been a part of this program for a while, some that are new to the program, but all of them have contributed in different ways to the success that you guys have had over the past few seasons. What more could you say about those guys and what they've done to elevate Black Hills State football and leave it in better shape than when they came in?
Yeah, I think that they've all found their role, and that's important. I feel like as a senior, coach I played for, I know Coach Jay Long down at Sheridan State College. One piece of advice that he always gave to me was in my coaching career is, make sure your seniors have a role. And I know all of our seniors have a role, and they understand what their piece of the puzzle is. And we do spend, you and I and people in the media spend time talking about guys like Tanner Clarkson and Hassan Williams, Nolan Susel, Ryder Blair, those type of guys. But there's a few unsung heroes in this senior class, guys like Victor Vega, Jake Pape comes to mind for me, Noah Nabuo, Anthony Rosenstraw has been a stellar long and short snapper for us during his career here. But, my wife brought something up to me that she noticed on game day with Jake Pape. in particular, and gotten to know his dad Ray and his mom Tracy pretty well over the last few years. And Elena said she saw that Ray films Jake on kickoff. Jake isn't a starter for us on offense and has seen limited reps on offense this season, but that's a guy that starts on a lot of special teams units for us and works his butt off every single week to give us the best look possible, and just takes his job extremely seriously and does his part. And pretty cool, a little bit of a maybe a little symbolic just to see, Ray, my wife saw Ray up there filming Jake run down on kickoff. And I think that that says everything it needs to say about our senior class. Is they take everything that they are given responsibility wise very seriously, and they have a lot of pride in what they do.
What does it mean to you personally that a lot of those guys chose to stick around when things weren't as easy, and when you guys came in and were making changes, other people maybe decided to go find another opportunity, but these guys decided to stick with the program and see things through?
I think it took a lot of bravery and courage on their part to step into the unknown. And I'd like to think that I was an easy coach to maybe get along with, and hopefully am an easy coach necessarily to get along with most of the time. But we were very specific when we came in about how we were going to get this done and what it was going to cost. And then we followed that plan. And, in this chair where I'm sitting right now, it was almost, 3-4 times a week, those first few weeks on the job, where athlete would come knock on this door over here and then say, "Hey coach, this really isn't for me. This isn't what, I want to do anymore." And I said, "Hey man, it's not for everybody." And we had a lot of guys that quit in that fashion, and we rarely had any bad breakups. There was very few guys that were kicked off of the football team or cut. A lot of guys kind of cut themselves. Now, I think about this senior class, in the midst of all of that change and those guys leaving. I think they had to have a lot of courage and a lot of bravery in those moments, just to trust somebody that they didn't know, and just buy into that plan and show up every day with a great attitude. And so I'd like to think that things paid off for them. And I think that if you ask them, they'll say that it will. And I'm really excited for in a couple of years, and these guys get a chance to come back, that hopefully we could be celebrating a championship together. And, I think that these guys understand that, and I've alluded to this before, that how we finish this season has a huge impact on the future, and what they've done and what they've put in has an impact on this program's long-term health and in our success. And it's just a fun group of guys to be around. I know these guys probably looking forward to their last road trip and their Uno. They play Uno on the bus. Their Uno battles, and you'll have to ask Tanner Clarkson about that. I think he's kind of the reigning champ. They have a big Uno belt, like a belt. So I'm excited to make this trip with the guys. It's always fun to spend some time with them, and I'll make sure to soak it all in.
One of those seniors that you mentioned, Nolan Susel, had another great day in the rushing game, 81 yards, a touchdown. Seems like every week that you guys have been establishing the line of scrimmage more and more, and finding success in the run game. But how good was it to see him, get another 80 piece and find some success in the rushing game?
Yeah, it was great to see. It took some pressure off of our pass game as well. And he's just a super reliable guy that you can count on, that even if the picture isn't going to be perfect, he's going to go run through somebody and try to punish someone. And he's such a physical runner, and he just brings it. And we're really lucky that he stayed healthy. I don't think that that's by way of luck. Nolan trains really hard and has trained his body to withstand those hits for 4 quarters through 11 weeks. And the dude's just an absolute warrior, great leader. We're looking forward to seeing him play his very best this weekend and go out on a high note with a win against Pueblo. And we're certainly going to be riding the Susel train.
You guys also found, like you mentioned, success in the passing game. Tanner was 14-22 for 217 and 3 touchdowns. TJ, another great game, 144 yards, 7 targets, 7 catches. But you guys were able to spread the ball around. Despite the number of yards that TJ had, there were a lot of guys that contributed in the pass game. How good was it to see that success and just the balance that you guys have been able to have? in the second half of the season.
No, it was great to see, and Tanner seemed comfortable. We challenged him to stay in the pocket. The pocket's been really good the last couple of weeks, and this last week versus Adams State, he did just that. He sat into the pocket. He went through his progressions. It's got to be tough to be in Tanner's shoes, to be as athletic as he actually is, and know that at the drop of a hat, you could just take off if you want to and get yards, because he does, and he can do that effectively in any game. But he serves the team and he serves the purpose better of the offense by sitting in the pocket and going through his reads. And then, if all else fails, then take off. And we had just gotten things out of order, I think, priority wise in some of the earlier weeks. And it's good to see him get back to who he was, being confident in the pocket, standing in there and making those on time throws. But a big performance by Mitch McKibben as well. I believe Mitch had 5 for, was it 90?
5 for 92 and a touchdown.
5 for 92 and a touchdown. And Mitch has been battling through a lower body injury that's really, really hampered him and kept him out of practice. And even just watching him try to practice is kind of like, oh, you should probably just sit out. And then we come to game day and he elects to play. And it's safe for him to play. It's not one of those injuries where it's unsafe, but it's just a pain tolerance thing. So he's been battling through. And just the other day, he told me, I saw maybe just a little bit of a look on Mitch's face, and it just kind of begged the question, hey, is everything all right? Are you good? And he just said, I'm just not really having the year that I thought I would have. And I think it's important to notice that he stuck to the process, and he didn't try to go out of his way to make extravagant plays and run other people's routes. He was just where he needed to be at the right times to make those 5 catches and have that awesome touchdown on a glance route that he took for, I think it was like 46 yards or something like that, something crazy. But it's just kind of a testament to our team and our offenses. Just do your job, just stick to the process, do your job, and good things will come your way. And TJ was kind of that way through the beginning of the season, and maybe even through that St. Thomas game. And we have a lot of unselfish receivers that just don't care about how often or how much or when they get the ball. It's all about just being available to the quarterbacks and doing what they can for the team. And Mitch is a great example of that.
We've talked at great lengths over the last few weeks about the offensive line and some of the health issues that you guys have had up there and having to move guys around out of position. But how good was it to see him again have another game where they keep the pocket clean and establish the line of scrimmage? And you talk about doing your job. When your job changes, that can be a little bit more difficult, but those guys have found a way to do it.
Yeah, they have, and great senior leadership by my interior 3. Starts with Trey Tremblay in the middle, playing center. Highly cerebral guys and playing extremely physical and grading out very consistently through the low 90s every single week. He's a tremendous football player, has been giving his heart and soul to this football program since I've known him. Nate Clay, Troy Middlesetter, both of our guards have been playing at a high level these last few weeks as well. We do get Elijah back this week, which will be nice. Michael Forney has played his 3rd game this season now as a true freshman, so we're going to put him on ice and save him for 4 more years. And he did a great job stepping up in a time of need. But Elijah's back and is healthy and is ready to go. And then Jason Rouse at our left tackle spot hasn't missed a game this season and has been battling and playing his butt off as well. So, they've got a lot of confidence going in to this Pueblo game, and I think rightfully so. We just got to make sure that, again, that confidence doesn't sour into arrogance, and we forget to do the little things that lead you to success. We gotta have good technique, and we got to get off the ball and have good aim points and all that good stuff. But they're playing really well right now. It's going to give us a great chance this coming Saturday.
Defensively, another great game by your front 7 as well, which, in the first half of the year, just watching games, it almost is like, how did they not get to the quarterback as much in the first half of the year? But again, got a couple sacks this weekend. We're able to get in the backfield and cause some chaos. How good was that to see? And how good has it been to see that become a consistent part of the game from that group?
Yeah, they're getting there like I thought they would now. And we kind of knew that those floodgates would break eventually, but no, there's so many good things that come from putting pressure on the pocket when your quarterback drops back. And so We were able to see, a couple of interceptions right at the end of the game, one that didn't count for some reason. We thought that was kind of whatever, but the second one just gave us a little worse field position to run the clock out. I would have loved to have been down in the other territory, but they're doing a good job. They're doing a good job playing physical. We've been executing our line games quite a bit better. I know that was one thing in the beginning of the season. We didn't feel like our line games were effective. We were just kind of running to spots instead of creating penetration and timing those up the right way. And then, just JB does a great job. My defensive coordinator dialing up those pressures at the right time and getting those quarterbacks to move off their spot. But, I think we're just extremely beat up right now in the back end, missing our two starting corners and having Zacharias step up and play corner, and Gonkoi Mombele stepped up to play corner, and those guys did a great job. But it'll be nice. We're going to have LV back this week, and that'll help things in the back end as well. Jaheim Roper played his first game last week versus Adams State after being out for 3 or 4 games. So we're getting some more guys back. Won't see Deontay the rest of the season, unfortunately, but I'm looking forward to us playing a whole complete game this weekend, offense, defense, elite teams, and just truly getting after it.
You guys return to action on Saturday at 1 p.m. Against the Thunderwolves in Pueblo, Colorado. This is a CSU Pueblo team with a full head of steam. They've won 6 in a row and have looked good doing it. What have you seen from CSU Pueblo on film?
Yeah, they changed up some of their X's and O's. They're under new leadership with Coach Phil Vigil, and more of a 4-2 team than last year. They were 3-4, and all the years prior they were a 3-4 team under Coach Riston. And offensively, you can kind of characterize Pueblo in the past as having pro-style elements and being maybe a little bit of 12, certainly utilizing a tight end, getting under center and those type of things. Seems like now they want to be quite a bit more spread out, kind of stretch you out horizontally, but they can hit you deep. They're going to be in the gun quite a bit. They run out of their 10 personnel quite a bit. Not afraid to put a tight end on the field, but it's a different style on both sides of the ball for sure. And they can score fast and they can score in bunches. And so we just got to keep things in front of us to give ourselves the best chance to win this weekend. They're big. They're bigger than us. They're very fast at their skill positions, and they're strong and they're physical in their lines. And so it's certainly going to be a test. This is one of the best teams. It is the best team that we've seen since Colorado Mines, and will be one of the best teams that we face all year. And so, we got to play close to perfect. And I think we need to strive for that every single game, not just because we're playing Pueblo, but they certainly don't need any help. And so, if we can eliminate mistakes and not help them be opportunistic on defense and take care of the ball and not turn it over, we'll have a chance to be in the game. I don't imagine that it's going to be a blowout or anything like that. It's going to be a tight ball game, in my opinion. And we're just going to have to value our possessions and like I said, take care of the ball and limit their big play opportunities.
There are a lot of coaches across the country that talk about how important it is to win the closer. How important is it for you guys as a program to end the year with a good taste in your mouth and kind of jumpstart the offseason on Saturday?
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, we've lost the closer every year that I've been the head coach here. So that would be something new for us, Alex, is to win the closer. Looking at some of the regional rankings, it doesn't appear that there's a chance for us to make the playoffs. There's no 2-loss teams in the top 7 in our region. And so even if we have some teams lose, they'll just go to 2 losses, and we win this weekend, we'll be sitting at a 6-3 Division II record. And so this will be our last game. We had a little bit of glimmer of hope kind of going into this last weekend that, hey, if everything happens the right way, then maybe we can it just doesn't appear that it's going to be in the cards for us this year. So this will be our last game, and we're going to treat it as such. But no, there is something to that, Alex, of winning that last game of the season and especially who it's against too. Having never beat these guys, I think this is something that can maybe erase some of the pain from earlier losses and some of the tight games that we won that we should have won by more and those type of things. To get a win versus a really good team like CSU Pueblo, and the way I'm looking at it too, kind of doing a little bit of projecting, we'll have the same RMAC record, but we'll have the head-to-head advantage over them, which should put us third in the conference in the final standings. And assuming that Mines beats Fort Lewis this weekend, and some other things happen. So, but yeah, it'll be a huge deal to our football program and some momentum that we can take into the off season and continue to build this program towards a championship.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming back on the program. We'll do one more next week to kind of put a bow on things and go over the whole year and project a little bit towards 2024. But first, you guys got to take care of the Thunderwolves. So it's good to have you on the program. Everybody, you can continue to follow the Rapid City Journal for the most complete coverage of Yellow Jacket athletics. For Josh Bresky, I'm Alex Dodd. Have a great week.
And this has been the Doddcast. That's how you're supposed to end this.
And this has been the Doddcast.